gets harder and harder the more things I do, and I want to regulate things like the draw and footwork to unconscious competence.
The Mantis X10 firearms performance system is an invaluable training tool for shooters of all levels to make themselves better with their defensive firearms.
Hey guys, welcome to your Mantis Dry Fire Monday. This is Active Self-Protection Extra, and I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. I want to talk to you about your dry fire, okay, and how to make it more interesting. It's important to practice absolute fundamental techniques like the draw and seeing the sights and trigger presses and all that. But it's also important to practice combinations and tactics together too, all right? We learned in mixed martial arts the hard way. We were absolute specialists in karate and taekwondo and in wrestling, and we all learned in jiu-jitsu, we learned the lessons that sometimes you have to be good at other stuff. It's not just how well you can throw one singular punch, it's how you can throw combinations and move your head and footwork and take somebody down and defend the takedown and get back to your feet and work on the inside of the wall, work on the outside of the wall. All that stuff was important. I think the same thing for the firearms carrier, the armed citizen on a daily basis for personal protection. We look at John's videos, we see combination activities going on, a draw, maybe multiple targets, maybe moving. All that stuff happens together. So how can I make my training more interesting? If you don't have the intrinsic motivators to get you better at training, and those are seeking mastery of what you're doing, having a purpose and knowing what it is, having passion for what you do, being very curious how everything works, and it needs to be autonomous, which means it's your idea and it's self-directed. If you get those 5 motivators in your practice, practice is a joy, and you'll do it 2 or 3 times a week, and it won't feel like drudgery, all right? It's hard, it's not fun, but it makes your life better in the long run. And that's what we want to do. We're refining ourselves when we practice, and the only thing that we control in a fight is ourselves and not the other person. All right, so here's the drill. I would draw and fire 6. That's a bill drill, okay? So if I'm practicing this, let's check the firearm here. Okay, I see clear, empty mag, going back in the gun, we're all set. Now, I'm gonna draw towards you because you need to see my hands in this drill, all right? You're a camera, nothing can happen to you. There's a berm behind me, it's about 300 feet tall, okay? So I practice my draw from here. Now, good draw, everything felt pretty good. Practice maybe hands up, different way to do it. Apparently I'm gonna make sound effects when I do it today. I don't know what that's about. I've been on the road for a while. I'm getting a little punch drunk, I guess. All right, so I practice with my hands up, practice with my hands down. Looks good, I'm seeing the dot, okay? Now I'm gonna press the trigger 6 times. So I'm gonna say this to myself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's my cadence. Good. Good grip. Dot was in the middle, watching it, front sight's there, everything's fine. Good, let's do it one more time. And put my cable back so it keeps sneaking up on me here. It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, easy enough drill. Now I got a par timer here, okay? It's randomly set for 3 seconds. It's an easy par time for me to make on a bill drill. Let's see how that looks. Made it, no problem, all right? So I've got this down. I could drop the par time. I want it to be at the edge of my mastery. That would probably be for me 1.8, maybe 1.7, somewhere in that. So I've almost got double what I need. But let's add something to it, all right? So I'm gonna shoot 3 at the target, then move to a new position and shoot 3 at it again. So I'm practicing movement in the middle of it. Let's see if I can get that done in 3 seconds. Okay, pretty good. Made it in the 3 seconds. Let's practice moving the other way. We don't want to get habituated to only moving one direction. Depends on what's going on in the world and what our context is. No problem. Short steps, no problem. So let's see if we can make it a little more complicated. So this time I'm gonna add a turn. My back will be to the target. The go signal is I hear a shot over there. I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna turn around. I'll fire 3 shots, move to the next position, fire 3 shots. Almost moved right out of the camera. Sorry about that. I got excited. All right, I didn't quite make that one. All right, so a turn, draw, and move, and fire 3 more is really tough. I'm getting at the edge of it. Let's try it on this side. This time I'll step forward instead of backwards. Good. Now I don't have to pull the gun in when I do that, but I moved out of the camera a little bit again. But you can see what I'm going with this. I'm just building things along. I could add a reload in it. I could add 2 on 3 targets, whatever I want to do, so that I get some complexity in my training. And that creates a reserve of processing power. It gets harder and harder the more things I do, and I want to regulate things like the draw and footwork to unconscious competence. So I don't have to think about them as much. I want to see the sights, I want to press the trigger effectively, and I want to get some real practice in it, and I make it interesting. So one day I do most of my training standing still, and next day I do most of my training moving, all right? Because it's important. They have to go together. Occasionally I'll find a real flaw in it, like when I went to move to the left side, my left hand and my support hand didn't come on the gun soon enough, so that's something I'm going to recognize and make sure I get on it. It's getting cold out here, it's getting dark, as you can see the sun's going down. There's the list of excuses. I'm going to throw all those out and just do a better job next time and make my training interesting, all right? Just a way for you to add to it. So things that you can do to make your dry practice more interesting. Turning, right or left, full back, quarter turns, from the seated position, off your back, moving, okay? All that stuff can be added, all right? Make it more interesting. Reloads could be added in, multiple targets, multiple shots, different size targets. Make your dry fire interesting, and that way you want to practice more, and you'll get better sooner. The more we stretch our mind for processing, the easier it is to do the singular events that we practice in training, and we'll be able to do combinations and in real tactical tactics. I don't like to say tactical, it's a tactic. Like I turned around, I drew, I moved to a new position, and I shot several shots. That's a great thing for me to practice and get good at. All right, I hope that helps you out, guys. Your Mantis doesn't do this part, but you can break down the parts that you're having a hard time with. If you're really having a hard time with the draw, look at the draw analysis, all right? If you don't think the aiming's very good, look at the aiming part of it, all right? And get better at it. And they also put mini drills in there on a daily basis of different things that you can do. Some of it's quite creative and useful for you to do. So I hope you'll do that. Subscribe to Active Self-Protection Extra. Hit the like button. You can find me at The Complete Combatant. And as always, guys, measure, refine, and perform.